Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today, we're doing something a bit different. We have the 103 in a Best Ball Mania 5. Taking CD Lamb. Tyreek went into 1, CMC went into 2. We will happily be taking Lamb at the 3. So, what we're doing differently in this video that we be doing differently. So, what we're doing differently in this video that we don't usually do in others is we are mixing up the format. So we're doing 2 Best Ball Mania 5s, then we're doing a marathon, and then we're doing a draft on drafters. And how the marathon works and how drafters work is exactly the same. Even though we're drafting in a 12-person pod, the marathon has 150,000 entries. If the contest ended today and had 62,000 entries, that's how many people we would be competing against outside of our pod. Like, pods don't matter. That's just who you're drafting with to, fill up your entries. Pods don't matter. There's no advance rate. It's just total points, and yeah, it's simple. There's no weak stacking. There's obviously like player stacking with QBs and wide receivers, running backs, tight ends. Team stacking is still very important, I would say, but in terms of weak stacking and weak advancement rate, all that stuff, you don't got to worry about it. Same thing on drafters. Everything I just explained for marathon applies to drafters. That's the sitch. We're doing 4 drafts, max stim. We're seeing how it goes. I haven't done something like this on the channel before. We'll see how cohesive everything is. The marathon usually takes a little bit to fill on Underdog. Our second BBM has already filled. We got the 106. We got the 106 and we got the 103 running good on BBMs. And for BBM, I'm just for these 2 drafts, I believe after these 2 I have either 16 or 14 Best Ball Mania 5s left, and I'm going to be probably working on my exposures. Here it's either Brees or JJ for me. I've been wanting to get up my Brees, so we're gonna be taking Brees over JJ. It's not something I do often, but at this point, when we have 115 drafts deep on drafters, and my Brees exposure, if I had to guess right now, I checked when I was at like 100 drafts, and my Brees was at around 6. And I've taken him here and there, not too often though. So I'm just trying to up that. My Jefferson is comfortably sitting at around 16% because I've just been taking a lot of Jefferson the entire summer. So, and I don't think, speaking about Jefferson, I think his case with Sam Darnold is completely fine. Like, I think people are totally overblowing that a little bit. This is wild shit is happening over here. We see 3 running backs in top 5 picks this BBM. What do we do? Amon-Ra is like Amon-Ra. I don't know. Let's just go Chase. Let's just go fucking Chase. Here it's either Olave or Neighbors for me. It's tough. It's honestly tough. I'm gonna go Olave. Can Neighbors fall to me? Maybe. I have a lot of CD Neighbors teams though, so we can mix in Olave here. And please, 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 one time. I'll fuck it. I'll just use my one time. I'll use my one time. And we're going Collins over here. Fuck. They got neighbors. They went neighbors. We're sad. We're sad. Honestly, I kind of want to go Kyron. Kyron's been getting sat out the entire preseason. I think it's pretty obvious what Sean McVay is telling us. With how many fantasy points Kyron scored last year, if he ends up being the lead back still in that situation, you're gonna be sad that you didn't have as much Kyron as you did. And I'm probably gonna be one of those people. I have been taking him a lot more in the third. In the big board, I was virtually taking him 0 when he was going at the 1-2 turn. But now that he's in the early third round range, sometimes you can get Kyron. Like I've gotten Kyron 31 through 33 before, and there he feels great because sometimes you get to pick him after Derrick Henry, which doesn't make sense. And that feels great. That feels great. So we went Chase. Now we have the choice to go Waddle or Collins. We're probably gonna be going Collins. I think that is who we're gonna be going. Just thinking about things. Yeah. We'll be going Mr. Nico Collins. Waddle falling over here. Do we buy? Probably, right? Just take Waddle. Hall, Collins, Waddle. It's pretty solid. Ayuk also good pick in that situation. No matter if Ayuk goes to the Commanders or if he stays in the 49ers, stays with the 49ers, like it's a good situation either way, honestly. Because they like the amount of targets that Terry and Ayuk would get would be insane. And Ayuk, I think, would be the number one over Terry. When Ayuk gets moved, he's getting moved as a number one. Like the relationship he has with Jaden Daniels and how good of a receiver Brandon Ayuk is, he will be the number one. So I really don't think Ayuk can be a bad pick. It's probably just buy Ayuk right now. Like there's not many worlds where I don't think that without injury he misses ADP. Over here between DK and DJ Moore, it's kind of tough for me. They're both really good. Rasheed at 28, it's brolic as fuck. Rasheed at 28 is crazy. What's Rasheed's ADP, current ADP in BBM? 41. 41. We could go T. Higgins here. Could go Amari Cooper here. I'm an Amari Cooper guy. I'm also an Xavier Worthy guy, but I'm not going Xavier Worthy at the 43 over Amari Cooper. I just have too many Xavier Worthy teams. Like my average Xavier Worthy cost is it's probably in this range. I mean, I can check, but this guy Bob's passing up on Jalen Hurts is interesting with Devonta Smith. Over here it's just another Amari Cooper, right? I'm not really sure why we're getting the Amari falls, but we'll take them. They feel great. George Pickens also is a great pick. I'm pretty convinced right now. Does George Pickens go? We will see. Maybe he goes. There's a good case for us to go McBride. Oh well, McBride went. Pickens is still on the board. It's just George Pickens, right? Like, don't overthink it. I think that makes sense to me. Over here, what's the play over here? Kenneth Walker. I think Kenneth Walker makes a lot of sense. And then going to receiver on the re. We could go Calvin Ridley here. We could go Keenan Allen here. I do think a lot of receivers are going to be gobbled up on the way back, but the quality receiver that we still can get at our next pick, I think, is pretty high. And Kenneth Walker is better than a lot of these running backs. Like, I don't think if Joe Mixon and or Rachaad White fall back to us, then our pick doesn't feel as good. But in the world where both of them get taken, then our Kenneth Walker pick's really good. Travis Kelce's still on the board at 43. I just like Amari Cooper, man. Like, I'm just going Amari Cooper. I'm taking Amari Cooper in all these drafts. It just, there's literally no world where Amari Cooper does not eat. There is no world. He's the best receiver on that team, not even close. Like, we can argue semantics on Njoku if we want to, you know, but who wants to say you're doing that, you know? Well, Rachaad White fell back to us, so I feel kind of dumb. I don't think we go Rachaad White. I think we go Deontay Johnson. Our marathon's about to fill. Let's celebrate. All right. Hear me out. I am like half fading Mark Andrews. Not even half fading. I'm pretty much am fading Mark Andrews this year. But in terms of tiers, like, are we going to be able to get Kittle or Pitts at this pick? Probably not. And Mark Andrews fits this team way better in a playoff format where I just like you I think you have to be willing to break bias sometimes in when you're trying to structure a team for playoff formats weeks 15 through 17. Like, you have to sacrifice advance rate sometimes to try and set yourself up best for the playoff picture. I think that's just optimal. Here, I really like Monty. I tend to go Monty here. Keon Coleman's also just a great pick here. Do I think I'll get Keon Coleman? Honestly, probably. Maybe not though. But if I don't get Keon Coleman, I think I'll get Brian Thomas. If I don't get either of them, I'll be pretty shocked. Here, I think it's just Jameson Williams. I actually comfortably think it's just Jameson Williams here. Okay. So I'm happy with our Ken Walker move. I think it paid off now because we followed up with Deontay Jamison Williams, which is really strong. Yeah, we get Keon. That's who we're going, right? Can't imagine going anyone here over Keon. I think this is correct. Yeah, lock it in, Mr. Keon Coleman. Ooh, what pick do we get in draft of the marathon? The 108. Okay, okay. Dude, this feels um like 2021 on Underdog when there was just like barely any badges. Half the lobby in all types of formats, it just feels like as badges now. It feels very rare to see stuff like this where there's just like 9 no badges. It's cool. It's great to see that there's just more and more people coming into the community. Mixon for sure. He's the best running back here, not close. Is Stroud important to this team? Absolutely. But we can just backdoor go Burrow if Stroud gets taken. So I'm not really too concerned. We do have a bigger bet now with Mixon joining the team. But even if we don't get Stroud, I'm still really happy with the Mixon pick either way because of just how many points he should be pulling in for us out of the position. He's a very good anchor. I think Mixon and KW3 are probably like the best anchors at the moment. So at QB, I don't think we're doing anything here. I think I'm going Raheem. I think I'm going Raheem. Raheem's upside is pretty nuts. I want to have more of him. Bijan at the 8. Low key, I've been kind of getting down with the Bijan fade. I might just be down for Garrett Wilson. Okay, well, we get Stroud, and now this team is ridiculous. Like, wow. Wow, wow, wow. I mean, we still could go Burrow, too. Hypothetically. It's an option. It's probably not, like, the best option for our team, to be honest, so we should just not consider that. Like, the best option for us is probably going to be going Geno or Watson. I'm definitely way more comfortable with Geno than going Deshaun Watson. Like the thing is we saw Amari Cooper put up 50 points with Joe Flacco. I'm not really concerned on if Amari Cooper can do it with subpar QB play. Like the dude just gets fed. The dude just gets fed. Jerry Judy there, is that going to change Amari Cooper getting fed? No. Two picks away on a lot of different things here. Jerome Ford at the 99 is pretty crazy. Not going to lie. Mahomes with cheap Hollywood. That's pretty creative. With bully tight end. Scuzzlebutt he just makes moves, man. Do we lean into Debo now with it looking like Ayuk might be on the move? Is that kind of a thing? Potentially. Let's bite into the apple of that a little bit. Jalen Warren over here. Honestly, Jalen Warren looks fine. He really does look fine. Do I think I'll get Dak still? Probably. Neither of them have Jake Ferguson, so it would just be roachy as shit for one of them to do it. I don't think. I think it's just Tony Pollard here now. You could argue Njoku, but Pollard looks great. Pollard really looks great. I think he's a pretty dumb value at 102. Really liking this team so far. I think we probably go QB one of these next two picks, if not both of them. We could go to a Jared Goff. That's like one of our angles. We could also something I also don't hate is setting up for like an Aaron Rodgers backstack and like planning to take Conklin on this team because we already have Brees. Because I think Brees is a great receiving back. He's a very underrated receiving back for what he is. Like I don't think people realize Brees is probably just as good as a receiving back as CMC is. Honestly, like Brees really is him. So do we go Dak here? It's just Dak here, right? Yeah. Keep it simple. Go Dak. Over here, cheap Jalen Warren. Is that the move? You could argue Cortland Sutton. I don't hate Cortland Sutton either. Yeah, I don't hate Cortland Sutton either. And then we take an RB at our next pick. Um, with how cheap Pollard is, like 101, I don't know. Kind of just want to take some Pollard here. I also love Zamir. I know people are really squeamish on Zamir at the moment, and it's because of like um how Pierce chose to use Zamir, but like I don't know, man. I'm pretty convinced that Zamir White is going to be a workhorse. I just a little bit of a feeling I have. Brooks here still be on the board is crazy. Myers still be on the board is dude. Like, there's just so many values here. But what's the best play for our team? Wait, 201 at the 96. I did not see 201 at the 96. I actually just have to take Goff because if yeah, okay, I have to take Goff because the Amon Ra person has two QBs, but they're unhinged. They're unhinged. If they're unhinged, just take Goff. Don't worry about it. There's honestly there's so many values on the board here. Like Dowdle, Wicks, Myers, Brooks, Goddard. Like, there's so many good picks here. I do think Goff is just a really solid foundation for QB points, and I think Jameson Williams is going to be a bigger contributor this year than most people think. And I've totally 180'd on this claim. Like, there might be a video on my channel at some point this summer where I've been like bashing Jameson Williams. I've 180'd on that take at this point in time from what I've seen from all the fucking drumbeat shit going on. Dude, he takes Taysom Hill at 121. That's tapped in. That's tapped in. I have an absurd amount of Taysom Hill. it's, I think he's a really good pick. Like it's gross that I think Taysom Hill is a really good pick. Honestly, it doesn't feel good to know that he's a good pick. All right, now it kind of got gross at the position. I think it's Devin Singletary. You could argue Chase Brown. Get a little bit of the Bengals chase stat going. Jacoby Myers is still on the board. How is that happening? So is Dontavian Wicks. Dude, fuck. I think we got to go Jacoby Myers. And then over here, wow. Devonta Smith, DK Metcalf. Fuck. Devonta Smith. When I see these three players, I just want Kellen Moore, Devonta Smith, patch it up. Jahan Dotson does literally nothing for me when it comes to Devonta Smith. Over here, I mean, how is Devin Singletary still on the board? How are we allowing this, fellas? At 118. Whew. Whoo. Oh, 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 oh. Mm. Let's go. Okay. Do we go Jacoby Myers again? I mean, I'm down. I think he's a good pick. I think he's a great pick. Just play the hits. These rankings are so outdated. I really should just be going by ADP. Like I don't even have Lockett ranked. I was so out on him. I mean, he is dealing with an injury now, so it is kind of reasonable. But I don't even have Gabe Davis ranked, man. Like you have to lean into Gabe Davis at this point. I think you could argue Josh Allen. Like fourth round Josh Allen here is pretty comfy. But so is Stephon Diggs. How you win these type of shits is if Stephon Diggs eats at an absurd rate and we have the lone Texans receiver. Like, okay. So how we're gonna win this contest, the marathon, is just being as efficient as possible. And Stephon Diggs has the chance to be as efficient as possible for us in terms of putting up them points. Because we don't have any other Texans receiver. We don't need to take CJ Stroud with him. It is an option. We could take CJ Stroud, but the more cheap ways that we think we could potentially value gap people in this tournament, because to score the most possible points, you have to like definitely get ridiculous closing line value relative to what people were going at. So like Aaron Rodgers, maybe even Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is just like cheaper than CJ Stroud, and if Brock Purdy puts up similar points as CJ Stroud, that's just a better pick. Dalton Scholes, right? Keep it simple, Dalton Scholes. We have Nico Collins. I don't care. We could go TJ Hawkinson and then take 2 or 3 more tight ends. That is something I do mix in from time to time. Rico Dowdle here, I think, is just the pick. Probably not close. Shaheed still being on the board is really, really cool, but I think we need some RB points, and I think Dowdle's that guy for us. I think Dowdle's that guy. On the clock here, having to decide between a couple different things. Aaron Rodgers went at 132. The quarterbacks are just going in a weird order here. This is just pretty strange. I think we're going Bucky Irvin. And then if we get lucky, we can get Baker Mayfield right here. Aaron Rodgers does not go at 132, right? Like, yeah, he goes at 158. Okay. So, a little unfortunate we don't get to set up our Aaron Rodgers thing that we were talking about, but that's just how it goes sometimes. A.D. Mitchell looks really promising. It would be our third. That's really just fine, though. I mean, Eckler, though, too. I think the potential with the receiver is better than Eckler. Like, give me the rookie receiver that gives us 2 different stacks, Like, give me that player over Austin Eckler. Like, I do like Austin Eckler and think he's a great value at the moment. Pretty much on all formats, too. Is this Terry McLaurin? No, this is just Xavier Worthy. Or is it Terry McLaurin? I kind of think it's Terry McLaurin. It could be Xavier Worthy. I don't know. This is Algier. I'm confident this is Algier. Taking Algier, just it feels like such a good pick every time. He's the best handcuff in the league, right? Because the Falcons will just willingly give Algier 20 touches. We've seen it. Like they're already talking about giving Algier a ridiculous amount of touches relative to Bijan with how good Bijan is and what pick they spent for Bijan. Um, Baker goes at 160. That's really unfortunate. We do still have Deshaun Watson on the board. It's kind of just like, I mean, like give me Geno, man. Just give me Geno. I don't know. I do like Hawkinson when we have 0 tight ends. I think that's nice. That can provide a potentially cheap elite tight end down the season. This is definitely a 3 tight end team now. Yeah. Yep. I like our receivers. Over here on the marathon, dude, like Kamara, James Conner, Aaron Jones. I like all these players. Pitts even too. I kind of like, but like does Pitts return the nuclear outcome? I don't know. I think it's just Algier again. I don't care for Zeke when I have Dowdle. Then yeah, we have no use for Jared Goff. You could argue Hawkinson with Andrews, and then just shut it down there. That's like pretty solid. I just how much I value Tyler Algier is a lot. I value that dude a lot. He's just shown to be very durable, and they give him the rock. A durable running back that just gets the rock. That's the prototype of player we're looking for. Jalen McMillan, potential player. Taking him is not bad. Isaiah Likely, not bad. God, there's so many good players here. We'll take the receiver. Taking the receiver with upside is usually just the best play at this point on drafters, I think. There's not too many late ADP upside receivers. What's Luke's ADP? He's up to 204 now. Like, dude, it moves so fast on drafters. Luke was in the 210s, I swear, like a week ago. And then news happens. ADP moves fast on drafters. It moves fast, man. Isaiah Likely, I'm pretty convinced is going to have a big role on the team. I mean, same with Jalen McMillan. And we need the receiver points. We do need tight end points as well, but with Ben Sinnott's ADP being 194, like that's just I feel like a pretty insane upside value that we can just take for free at this pick. It's kind of what I plan to do. 1461 over here. Again, Goff is just still free falling. I really wish we could take him, but there's like backstacking him with Khalif Raymond. That's just it. Just kind of sounds like a joke. I can't take another week 14 bye. It's actually just kind of too much. Bucky Irving or Braylon Allen. Honestly, give me Bucky Irving. The drumbeat right now for Bucky Irving is fucking ridiculous. Like, if y'all aren't keeping up to date on your Bucky Irving knowledge, please do, because this man is on a rocket ship. I'm telling you, like he is number 2 back, not close, and then he's gonna box out Rachaad White for, or not. He's not. Not no. Let me rephrase that. He's going to carve out his own role in the offense. He's not going to box out anyone, but that's because Rachaad White is a good player. Like I don't. Who are we doing for a second QB here? What's the move? Just go Baker. I kind of like just go Baker. I'll explain in a sec. I'll explain in a sec. Because right now it probably looks really bad. But just trust. Give me a second. I'll explain. Here I think it's Najee. You could argue Mostert. I like Najee. Over here, this is the Baker team. Okay. So McMillan already went, which is the part that's shitty. But we still have the K dot now, which I think we're going to be pulling this lever as one of our tight ends. Over here, I think Jawan Johnson's probably the move. Let's see. Ooh. I can't pass up on Tank Bigsby, actually. I think he's too many potential points. And now that he's going in the early 190s, you used to get Tank Bigsby for free. Tank Bigsby used to be free. I've got a lot of round 18, some round 19 Tank Bigsby. A lot of round 18 though. And now, yeah, he's going ADP early round 17, sometimes round 16. I've seen Tank Bigsby go around 15. No memes. I still haven't explained that shit, but I'll get to it in a second. There's no elite QB that we're going here, right? Because someone went Daniels, unfortunately. We could go Bowers. We could go Pollard. It's actually probably just Pollard to try and catch up at running back because we have such good receivers. I think I like that the most. Braylon Allen's still on the board. It's kind of nuts. I think we just go Braylon Allen. What are we doing for our second QB situation, though? Gino? How free is Gino? He's not that free. Can we figure it out? We can figure it out if we don't get Gino. Braylon Allen being this free, we'll take it. You could argue we're just supposed to slam Gino here because of DK. But I think with Cortland Sutton on our team, the Bo Nix out. Wait, did someone already go Bo Nix? Oh, God. Okay, well, things just got scary. Oh, God. No Cope. Baker's fine. We can go Bucky plus... McMillan just went. Fuck. Okay, so Baker's actually... Dude, fuck. We're actually kind of sweating Gino now. Because this dude went Bo Nix at 165, which is unhinged, right? Like, am I stupid? Or was that just unhinged? 186. It was unhinged. Okay. Well. Who's on our queue? Juwan? Yeah, let's go Juwan. Let's go Juwan. I think that makes sense. Drake May still is a player we can take. Definitely taking a third QB on this team. We get Geno still. Okay. The sweat was worth. The sweat was worth. We have 3 week 14s, which is not great. I definitely need to sprinkle in another receiver. Greg Dortch probably gets taken. Let's go. Dude, I love Isaiah Likely. I love Isaiah Likely. And he hasn't played a single fucking snap in the preseason. Getting him as our third tight end, that feels great. That feels really good. With this RB room, you could argue that we're supposed to shut this down. Like, go one more receiver. Do we go another? No. Actually, I don't know. This is an interesting spot for our team. I wish we could go Caleb. I really do. I wish the universe let us get Caleb here. I think Singletary makes the most sense though. Or Romeo Dubs. One of the two. Let's go Romeo Dubs. I like Audric. I do like Audric. I like Audric a lot. And then a receiver. Like, I mean, Tim Patrick, Jalen Naylor. Not bad options. Ooh, Greg Dortch is still on the board. Ooh, Yoshavash. Wait, Greg Dortch or Yoshavash? Let's go Dortch. I don't know what's correct there. Dortch feels correct. Like going Yoshavash on a team that we already have Jamar Chase with no Joe Burrow. I don't know. That just doesn't sound great. Going Greg Dortch on a team where we don't have any week 11 bye receivers, where we need to mix in another receiver that doesn't have a week 14 bye. We don't have any other Arizona receiver. That just sounds better to me. So that's what we're doing. I think Colby Parkinson, honestly, should probably be valued a lot higher than he is, because the Rams are sitting him and playing the fuck out of Davis Allen. So like they're telling us that Colby Parkinson is going to be the tight end one until Tyler Higbee is whatever. Do we still get Singletary? I like Tim Patrick, man. There's no other flyers, I think, that are good here. Because it looks like someone won Brennan Rice. Right. Yeah. I think it's Tim Patrick. I think Tim Patrick's a good receiver with a real role on this offense. QB wise, we're like locked into Aaron Rodgers. If we don't get Aaron Rodgers on this team, it's pretty detrimental. For our second quarterback situation, I don't know. Like, actually, what do we do for our second quarterback? We can always bullshit some stuff with like backdoor correlation with tight ends, but it's always better to have. No. Gasicki Dolchich or Tucker Craft. Actually, let's go Tucker Craft. Let's go Tucker Craft. His rehab has been going well, and I think he's honestly better than Luke Musgrave. So, yeah. Well, Tucker Craft wraps up a 2.673. CJ Stroud, Geno Smith, Joe Mixon, Devin Singletary, Rico Dowdle, Tyler Algier, Bucky Irving, Braylon Allen, Jamar Chase, Nico Collins, DK Metcalf, Amari Cooper, Cortland Sutton, A.D. Mitchell, and Greg Dortch for our receiver room. And then Mark Andrews, Colby Parkinson, and Tucker Craft wrapping it up at tight end. Yeah, those are our BBM teams. Drafters, auto drafted Trey Tucker and Brendan Rice. That's fine. We were done at tight end, shutting it down at tight end. Well, you could argue maybe we were supposed to add a fourth tight end over over these two receivers, but Trey Tucker and Brandon Rice both I think have pretty good single week upside. Do they have the potential to go nuclear? Yeah, I think so. I think absolutely. You can maybe argue that this should be Gardner just to like get some more QB points potentially on the board. I could see that. Dalton Scholes, I really like going. Maybe Muth is the answer though. I don't know. Like it's tough because at this point in time, it doesn't seem like Ayuk is going to the Steelers. It seems like if anywhere outside of the 49ers, it's going to be the Commanders as of right now. So with the injury that Roman Wilson's been dealing with, his ankle injury, it he hasn't been able to get all the reps that he needs to be able to really be a solidified like number 2 option on this team. So that leads me to believe that Pat Fryermuth is probably going to be the number 2 option for a good amount of time, like this season. And I mean, outside of Jalen Warren, that is like, dude, like Pat Fryermuth seeing a potential 90 plus, 100 plus target season is totally in the cards because there's just not many bodies. And Arthur Smith loves using his tight ends in the passing game. Not the good ones. So who knows? Like who knows what he does with the tight ends, but he does really like using them. So I have high expectations. Without CJ Stroud going the tight end and Diggs in a marathon format, when I don't already have like a QB1, I don't know, it feels a little weird. Do I try and push Rodgers to 152 in favor of taking Hawkinson? I don't think so. In this format, Rodgers ADP is actually 152. So if I'm picking him at my next pick, I'm actually picking him at ADP. And I can't afford that on this team. That'd be optimal, but what I think's best for this team is me picking Aaron Rodgers around ahead and getting the security that I have a league winning, tournament winning potential stack that is Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, because who the fuck knows what these people are going to do in the next 2 rounds? There are 14 picks in front of me, so I'd rather just secure what I guaranteed need now. Like you see this guy, E-Man, 4 QBs, 4 QBs. All right, he literally can't pick any more QBs. This is unhinged as fuck. So this is why I could not backstack Jordan Love and Jaden Daniels. I wasn't even paying attention to that. But yeah, so many people like, dude, why are there 2 people with 4 QBs? The marathon is like these rooms are crazy, man. I mean, you're able to see the teams I'm able to build. Oh, 0272. Like it's just it's unhinged in here, man. It's unhinged. Real talk though, I really don't know what we're gonna do for our second QB. I really don't know. Like Levis is decent because we could go Tyler Boyd because I don't think there's no world where the Titans pick up another player. Like, and are you really gonna be playing Burks in the X and then Hopkins as your Z with Ridley in the slot? Like, is that really gonna be a thing? I don't think so. I think you'd rather play Boyd in the slot and then Ridley as your Z and then Hopkins as the X. That makes more sense to me. And then you mix in Burks. But I think Tyler Boyd as a main, like the thing is Boyd came with Callahan to the Titans. Like there is a plan in motion to use Tyler Boyd. I'm pretty convinced. And I don't know. I don't think that's reflected in his ADP much. Tyler Algier still being on the board here at 152 is absurd. We are like the Falcons are telling us how stupid that they're being. They're like, yeah, no, we're willing to give Tyler Algier like at least 40% of the workload. I mean, it's Tyler Algier. And we're all just supposed to be like, yeah, okay. It, we all would like to believe that they would use Bijan, a number 4 overall pick, responsibly. They don't. They don't. They just don't. The most responsible way to use a top 10 overall running back pick is by giving them like 300 touches in their rookie year. Look what happened with Saquon. It went great. It went fucking great. With Bijan, it would have been amazing too. But yeah, Tyler Algier existing was simply too much for Bijan to overcome. Imagine that. There's so many good players, man. The problem is though, is if we don't take Levis at 161, there's no way we get him at 176. Like we don't I don't think we have the ability to get lucky on that one. I mean, there are two people that literally can't pick a quarterback. But dude, it's funny because like what if like after I make my pick I'll get into it. But I have a thought. Dude, I kind of want to pick fuck. Fuck. I want to pick we're doing it. We're doing it. I'm pushing it. I'm pushing it, man. Fuck it. I'm pushing it. Okay, so what if put yourself in these drafter shoes? Like you're drafting on Underdog, you're just queuing up the marathon, you're just trying to do a tournament or whatever. You don't watch or consume much content. The only reason you're drafting on Underdog is you're just like trying to draft on a platform. You like what best ball is. You've seen and heard of it. You know, you've watched a draft here or there, but specifically for this format, you know, there's literally no content for this format. So you queue up and you know you're next to a bunch of other people like yourself, and there are two people who draft 4 QBs. If you're one of these 5 people who does not draft 4 QBs, that is next to these 2 people who very aggressively took 4 quarterbacks, would you also be like, should I take 4 quarterbacks? Like, it intuitively that can't be like, if you've consumed best ball, that can't intuitively be like your go-to. But if you just look at projections and you're like, oh shit, they do score the most points, and then like you don't really put too much thought into like how the weekly scoring goes about and like roster allocation and stuff, you might end up on 4 quarterbacks. You might end up on 4 quarterbacks too. Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 170. Living large. That's a living large pick. E-Man and Kelhorse literally cannot pick Will Levis. So there's actually only 3 picks where Levis can go. Because you can only have 4 QBs on Underdog. They don't allow you to have more because it doesn't make sense to ever have 5. And in non-eliminator superflex, eliminator/superflex formats, it just doesn't make sense to have 4 QBs. So you shouldn't even like, the limit should genuinely be 3 for this type of format, but they still let you draft 4. Please, 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 one time. My one time, please let it work now. One time. It didn't work for Neighbors. Let it work for Levis. One time. Let's go. Yes. Let's go. Oh, but Bucky Irving's on the board. No, I'm just fucking with y'all. Like, no, like he falls to us and then I'm like, oh, but Bucky Irving. I do love me some Bucky Irving, but not right now. Not right now, man. Man, Boyd is cheap as fuck. I like guaranteed get Boyd at 185. Don't even have to sweat it. You know? Like, there's no way anyone takes Boyd. McMillan is definitely someone I really like, but it really does just feel like Tyler Boyd here. And I'm not pushing it. Even though it's not that past ADP and people like don't really love Tyler Boyd. I don't think it's correct to push that. When we have the stack lined up and everything. I hope we get Tank Bigsby. I don't think we will. Him being 194 now sucks. He was in the 200s, man. He was in the 200s. He was free. He was free. No longer. No longer. I think this is like what we're lining up for our potential last picks. I think I don't know what our ideal team is actually. I don't think we want another quarterback. I think if we go Rodgers Levis, we just assume that they both get there, and then them both getting there usually will just pay off us winning. And then I would never take Sam Darnold without at least Hawkinson. We're seeing a lot of unhinged picks though. Like I mean, Marshawn Lloyd is still on the board even. It's pretty crazy. I don't want to get involved with the 49ers backup running back situation, man. I honestly just don't want to get involved. I was drafting Jordan Mason for a little bit, but now I'm just like, fuck this. Like, let me just take a different RB. Like, let me just take a different RB too. Let me not take the dude that is only ever going to win off of injury. And it's like, well, isn't that the case for all these dudes? And it's like, is that the case for all these dudes? Like, there's a lot of upside here. Like, the three names I've queued, who's to say that all of them are guaranteed not as good as the starters in front of them? I don't know. I don't know. We get Tank Bigsby, which is insane. Go team. That's 3 week 12 buys. Do we care? Not really, because our other three running backs that aren't a buy are Singletary, Pollard, Harris. So should be fine. And then Dolchich or Theo as our third tight end, I think is the way to play it. You could argue Gasicki. Gasicki's been getting in some good work too. And then I mean, you could also, I guess, make a case for Chig. Um, but I don't. Yeah, Chig just doesn't seem like it. Tucker Craft. I mean, hey, like we could make the Tucker Craft conversation again. Honestly, I might be down. I might be down for some Tucker Craft. Tucker and Theo. Tucker, Theo, Dolchich are my top three. And Gasicki. So we can just unstar Chig. And the receivers. And the running backs. Because we're taking a tight end here. We're not leaving one of these two hanging without a third. Which one, though? No Tuck for us. No Tuck guy for us. Like Theo Johnson and Greg Dolchich both have juice. They both have juice. I think I'm gonna go Dolchich. Is that crazy? Like I don't have any Broncos pass catchers. I think I'm going Dolchich. I think it's between him and Gesicki. But with Dolchich, I'm confident that he's the best tight end running routes on that team. Confident. I'm like, I don't want to disrespect Eric All. Eric All is very, very good. And he could potentially have Gesicki in a timeshare at some point in the season. And the level of timeshare, I don't know, but any timeshare at all versus Greg Dolchich just running routes. He's the tight end that just runs routes. He does not block. Give me that. Give me that guy. The same buy, whatever. Youth can just score points for us week 14. It's all good. It's all good. So for our marathon team, last draft wrapping up, we have a 2-6-7-3, Aaron Rodgers, Will Levis for our quarterbacks. You would think that's thin, but if we're trying to win the tournament, if we're trying to get first place, we need to mend the gap and have as many points as possible. We have Alvin Kamara, Najee Harris, Tony Pollard, Devin Singletary, Tyler Algier, Tank Bigsby. Then we got Garrett Wilson, Debo Samuel, Devonta Smith, Stephon Diggs, Terry McLaurin, Romeo Dubs, Tyler Boyd, and at tight end we got Pat Fryermuth, Isaiah Likely, and Greg Dulcich. So 2-6-7-3. That's how we're lining it up. Thank y'all for watching. Catch you next one.